Hello, and welcome to our channel. In today's video, we are going to tell you about the U.S. has sent 2 aircraft carriers to the Eastern Mediterranean Sea, near Israel, in a show of force and deterrence. This is the first time in decades that 2 U.S. carriers have operated together in this region, and it comes amid the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. In this video, I will tell you everything you need to know about this unprecedented naval deployment, the reasons behind it, and the implications for the region and the world. So without further ado, let's get started. What are the 2 carriers and what can they do? The 2 carriers that have been sent to the Eastern Mediterranean are the USS Gerald R Ford and the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. Both are nuclear-powered supercarriers that can carry more than 60 aircraft each, including F/A-18 fighter jets, E-2D Hawkeye early warning aircraft, EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft, and Mk-60 Seahawk helicopters. These aircraft can perform various missions, such as airstrikes, air defense, reconnaissance, surveillance, and anti-submarine warfare. The carriers are also accompanied by several escort ships, such as guided missile cruisers and destroyers, that can provide additional firepower and protection. Together, the 2 carrier strike groups form a formidable naval force that can project power and influence across a vast area. When and why did they arrive in the Eastern Mediterranean? USS Gerald R Ford arrived in the Eastern Mediterranean in June 2023 as part of its first operational deployment. The Ford is the lead ship of its class and the newest and most advanced carrier in the U.S. Navy. It has several features that make it more capable and efficient than its predecessors, such as an electromagnetic aircraft launch system, an advanced arresting gear, a dual-band radar, and a larger flight deck. The Ford was initially assigned to the U.S. European Command Area of Responsibility, where it participated in several exercises and operations with NATO allies and partners. However, in October 2023, after the Hamas attack on Israel, the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered the Ford to move closer to Israel as a sign of support and solidarity. The Ford also conducted joint operations with the Israeli Navy and Air Force, enhancing interoperability and readiness. The U.S. Dwight D. Eisenhower deployed from Norfolk, Virginia on October 14, 2023, with the intention to relieve the Ford and take over its mission in the Mediterranean. The Eisenhower is a Nimitz-class carrier that has been in service since 1977. It has undergone several upgrades and modernizations over the years, and has participated in numerous conflicts and crises, such as the Gulf War, the Iraq War, the war in Afghanistan, and the fight against ISIS. The Eisenhower was originally scheduled to sail to the U.S. Central Command Area of Responsibility, where it would be the first U.S. carrier to operate in the Middle East since 2021. However, on October 15, 2023, the Pentagon announced that the Eisenhower would join the Ford in the Eastern Mediterranean, creating a rare and powerful dual-carrier presence. The Pentagon said that this decision was part of the U.S. effort to deter hostile actions against Israel or any attempts to widen the war following the Hamas attack. The Pentagon also said that the U.S. presence would send a clear signal about the U.S. commitment to stability and security in the region. What are the challenges and opportunities of having 2 carriers in the Eastern Mediterranean? Having 2 carriers in the Eastern Mediterranean poses both challenges and opportunities for the U.S. and its allies and partners. On the one hand, it increases the U.S. military capabilities and options in the region, and demonstrates the U.S. resolve and credibility to its friends and foes alike. It also provides an opportunity for the U.S. to enhance its cooperation and coordination with NATO and other regional actors, such as Israel, Egypt, Greece, Cyprus, and Turkey. The 2 carriers can also conduct joint training and exercises, improving their readiness and interoperability. Moreover, the 2 carriers can act as a deterrent for any other actor, such as Iran or Hezbollah, that might think that escalating the conflict or attacking Israel is a good idea. Having 2 carriers in the Eastern Mediterranean also entails some risks and costs for the U.S. and its allies and partners. It increases the U.S. exposure and vulnerability to potential threats and attacks, such as missiles, drones, submarines, or cyber attacks. It also consumes a lot of resources and manpower, and limits the U.S. flexibility and availability in other regions, such as the Indo-Pacific or the Arctic. Furthermore, Having two carriers in the Eastern Mediterranean could also complicate the diplomatic and political efforts to de-escalate the situation and reach a peaceful solution. It could be seen as a provocative or aggressive move by some parties, such as Russia, China, or Iran, that might feel threatened or challenged by the U.S. presence. It could also create tensions or misunderstandings with some allies or partners, such as Turkey or France, that might have different interests or perspectives on the regional issues. What are the implications and prospects for the future? The implications and prospects for the future of having two carriers in the Eastern Mediterranean depend largely on how the situation evolves and how the actors involved react. If the conflict between Israel and Hamas continues or worsens, the U.S. might use its carriers to provide more support and assistance to Israel, such as intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, or air defense. The U.S. might also use its carriers to conduct strikes or operations against Hamas or other targets if necessary or requested by Israel. However, this could also escalate the violence and trigger a wider regional war involving Iran, Hezbollah, Syria, or other actors. The U.S. might also face pressure or criticism from some of its allies or partners, or from the international community, for being too biased or involved in the conflict. If the conflict between Israel and Hamas de-escalates or ends, the U.S. might use its carriers to facilitate or support the peace process and the humanitarian relief efforts. The U.S. might also use its carriers to promote or advance its strategic interests and objectives in the region, such as countering Iran's influence and activities, strengthening the Abraham Accords, or expanding the NATO's role and presence. However, this could also create or increase friction or competition with other powers, such as Russia, China, or Turkey, that might have different or opposing agendas or ambitions in the region. The U.S. might also face challenges or dilemmas in balancing its commitments and relationships with its various allies and partners, such as Israel, Egypt, Greece, Cyprus, and Turkey, that might have conflicting or competing claims or interests in the region. In conclusion, the U.S. decision to send two carriers to the Eastern Mediterranean is a significant and unprecedented move that reflects the U.S. involvement and interest in the region. It also shows the U.S. capabilities and options to respond to any contingency or crisis that might arise. However, it also entails some risks and costs that the U.S. and its allies and partners have to consider and manage. The future of the two carriers in the Eastern Mediterranean will depend on how the situation unfolds and how the actors behave. The U.S. will have to navigate the complex and dynamic regional environment with caution and wisdom, and use its carriers as a force for good and peace, not for war and chaos. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear your feedback and opinions. See you next time.